About comics.
I read the book, and we're going, man.
Oh, sweet.
I'm sending the music, and I'm sorry you had to work all day.
Oh, well, it let me sleep in a little, I guess, but it's tough on the back end.
Yeah, working late. James is working late.
And I'm having fun right now.
Awesome. I worked a little bit today too. I'm hanging hanging wallpaper.
Oh.
Oh.
In your house?
Yeah. In this spiral staircase.
Does it have Christmas trees on it?
No, it's sort of a metallic weave pattern. Hi,
okay.
And welcome to Seattle's #1 comic book podcast. The podcast that is dedicated to the first issue of your next favorite comic. James had no idea I was already recording, and we are.
I was thinking I might have a pair of pants that match your wallpaper. But we're Larry and James, of course.
Yeah, I have some very flashy wallpaper, so James...
Well, I got some flashy pants, so...
Welcome to the podcast. This is episode 69, and this week we are going to be talking about Manifest Destiny, and I want to issue that spoiler alert right out the gate. And James, we are going to stop talking about this book at page 25.
Yes, Comixology has these for free if you're a subscriber, but they have the volume free as well as the individual issues, and so I made it a point to get the first issue instead of the whole thing. But however you want to read your comics, Comixology's got you covered.
Yeah, I did not do what James did, and I read almost the entirety of it before I realized, holy cow, this is a very long comic book.
It's captured you. That's a good sign.
It is a good
Well, and you
book.
usually have read a few more issues that, you come with a little more background, so...
Well, actually, I'm current on this book. This is one of my regulars, and so we have been reading this in my comic book club weekly.
Do you have a name for that club?
It's called Larry's Comic Book Club.
Perfect name for it. I know exactly what it's like.
The CBC. And this is one we read in trade, and
well, our listeners are going to see why, but first we got to get to that Recent and Decent, Larry.
James, you're going to love this Recent and Decent. This is
I got my pen out. Click, click.
Recent and Decent. This is the 0 issue of a written. And don't interrupt me while I do these names because they are hard. This is written by Joe Garamiyagana.
All right, that was pretty solid.
Artist Ginano Franaco Flerio Palado Camito Pinata. I can't read my writing. Andrea
Your writing is the hard part.
Gripia and Roberto Zanatona. And it is
Roberto?
Robota Zanita.
How many people
Zanotia.
Is this all one person?
No, that's four artists, one writer.
Okay.
Joe Garamagana.
So like a cover guy and a color guy.
And it is DuckTales.
Ah,
it's all your favorites: Huey, Dewey, Louie, Uncle Scrooge, and Donald Duck.
Into a big pile of money.
Everybody jumps into the money.
Is that the opening splash page?
No, actually, in this 0 issue, Uncle Scrooge does not make an appearance, but it's 3 stories.
What? He's the best one.
No, I think one of the Deweys or the Louies are my favorite.
Dewey and Louie.
They are so much fun. In this,
I do like them better than Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Oh, these are so easy to get into. And the voice is right there when you're reading it. So the first story is, and it always, each one revolves around a job that Donald has. Donald is a janitor. Donald is a movie ticket ripper. Donald is a...
Donald's putting up some plywood.
Yeah.
Putting up some wallpaper.
Yeah, Donald is always doing something, and in this
Yeah.
particular story,
He's having a tough time with it.
Donald is a tour guide on a lake called Little Lake, and it's called Little Lake because it is shallow, not because it is little. And of course, somebody one-ups Donald while he's giving the tour, and it's a kind of this doofy-looking dog who's like, "Oh, I know all the particulars of this lake. It has 232 different types of sponges underneath it, and some of those sponges."
This is funny.
Oh, it's super funny. It is laugh out loud.
The sponges underneath the water?
Underneath the
like
water.
A Stephen Wright joke.
And of course, this causes Donald to crash his boat into the only island on this little lake, and they're stranded. Hilarity ensues.
Oh, I love a stranded on a desert island.
It is super fun, and if you're tired, or if you're like, I get a little bogged down in a lot of the like heavy drama comics that we read. So
it's like why I watch Adam Sandler movies.
There you go, Adam Sandler on as Donald Duck. So check it out. It's recent and decent. I'm not going to go through all of the particulars of who wrote it, but it came out last week, and it's a 0 issue, so it's going to be a summertime, full-time. I don't know how many issues we're going to get out of this, but keep buying them because it's super funny. Recent and decent DuckTales from a host of different artists and one amazing writer.
So, I realize now that making a reference to, like, saying it's an Adam Sandler movie might not be super appealing to some people, but whatever, I mean, Jim Carrey movie or something like that, whoever your taste is.
Donald Duck is my Jim Carrey. And Adam Sandler, who morphed into one amazing duck.
So how is the art? Like, what, I can't really... Is it like classic DuckTales style, or did they go like Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
No. It is very classic Duck.
It's sweet.
They're not
blue shirt, no pants.
Blue shirt, no pants, and like I said, so the second story, and I just love the second story as much as I love the first story. And there's a Mickey Mouse third story, and I can't really add on to the Mickey Mouse story, but the Duck stories are the best. And the middle story is
Goofy?
No, it's an Alfred Hitchcock takeoff, and it's it's Mallard Hitchcock. And of course,
that's such a wedge, like Mallard Hitchcock.
They tried, and it works. It's so funny.
Close enough.
You're gonna love it. So check out those DuckTale books. They're so much fun.
We might have to make that a real one if it goes long enough.
We will. All right, let's dive into Manifest Destiny, James. I'm going to go out. Well, I do this every week. I'm going to say that you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did. I'll cut to the chase. I thought it was the third best comic we've read so far.
Oh, right on. Because this is
Jump into the conclusion on this one. So
this is in your wheelhouse.
Go in with that positive expectation.
This is definitely James's is his thing. It's history and then a fantasy. Now I like to imagine this as not fantasy. Yeah,
definitely. Because it's so close. Like, one of the things I don't like about sci-fi is when it's crazy sci-fi. Like it's too far out, or fantasy. Like, I like it when I can think like this is like potential around the corner. You know, like I like Frankenstein or like the Island of Dr. Moreau. And this is kind of in that, like, it almost could be.
I think it is. All right, but before we dive into Manifest Destiny, I
want to... That was a big tease.
I want to issue a spoiler because we're going to talk about the first 20 or so pages. And the spoiler is warranted.
It puts a good hook at the end of the first issue.
It does.
One of the best hooks I've seen so far.
It does. So the book that we're talking about, Manifest Destiny, written by Chris Dingus, art by Matthew Roberts. I couldn't get past that. And Owen Gianne. James, set us up.
All right. So first page, I was thinking about this. It's like a splash page of a couple boats going down a river in like nothing, like the middle of nothing kind of place. And I was thinking, I love it when a comic's first page is a splash page, and I don't know exactly why. But do you agree with me, Larry?
I do. This one sets it up pretty nicely.
Like it gives it a setting in this one, but even just in general, I think it's fun when the first page is a big old splash, because then you get to see like what kind of art you're expecting.
Oh, that's solid. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, exactly.
We
see this beautiful bird flying high above these like three boats,
like a heron of some kind, and then we see them shoot that bird, and it's like, oh, it's Lewis and Clark, and we're on our way to do the Lewis and Clark thing, go across America because Thomas Jefferson sent us, and he sent us to gather all the natural wildlife, flora and fauna, send back, and we'll know more stuff, I guess. That's why they did it, right? To conquer new lands.
Conquer new lands, but one of the underlining particulars of their voyage, of their mission, is to eradicate
natives,
or again, we issued the spoiler.
Oh, okay. Well,
monsters.
Oh, yeah, monsters. Okay, we'll keep it at monsters for right now. But yeah, so that's what starts to make it a fantasy. Is they're on the edge of the known world, and what's beyond, your mind starts to go crazy. Like I think about the people who went to Australia, and they're like, "What are these kangaroos? I've never seen this before."
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. The other day we'll come back to this, but I will put this back in my brain as something I saw on Reddit, and I was like, "Ugh, that is scary and unreal." So I might have put the cart before the horse here when I said monsters, but
but like that mystery of like, okay, I know there's going to be something here. Like I think they played it, like they paced it really well in this comic, because before we see the weird thing about monsters, we see this giant arch that it looks like the St. Louis Arch, and it's kind of like, oh, they're probably in like St. Louis, they're on the Mississippi River or the Missouri River or whatever river goes through St. Louis. I should probably know that, right? The Ohio? There's only so many.
I think it's Ohio. Yeah.
Okay.
Yikes. But this thing is huge, and
yeah, they gave it a splash page.
And instantly the crew, and we meet the crew. This is what I really liked about this book, is we meet the crew one by one, little by little, and the crew is enlisted men, Captain and Lewis
and Clark,
and then volunteers or people who would be offered pardons straight out of prison, like criminals.
And they did a good job of like Larry was saying, with like individual characters being like revealed at a time. And I thought they did a good job of making each one like a representative of their different classes. So there was like a guy who was getting his prison sentence canceled, and he was talking with a guy like, hey, how come why didn't they just hire more people? Why did they choose us? And they kind of figure out that they're all there because no one has a family, and they're all like people who no one would miss if they were killed in this adventure.
That's right. They are the Expendables.
Yeah. Oh, Expendables. Good one.
And, some of these guys are really... Well, one in particular, I forget his name, but he's this sort of like... Oh, he is bad, right? You know it right off the bat. He is...
Yeah, he's talking about deserting and, mutiny and those kinds of things. And he ends up even killing certain people on his